Hi, it's Anthony. Let's talk about the impact of probate on you and your family, and then I'll help you set your priorities before you choose an attorney. These are important first steps before you get involved in any probate case. Here's a rough agenda for our talk. First, I'll tell you a little bit about me. Then, we'll talk about how probate will impact your life, and I'll go over the 4 biggest impacts. And lastly, I'll help you decide on your goals and what's most important to you, so you can choose the attorney who fits you best. Does this agenda sound good to you? Great, let's get started. First, a little bit about me. I have over 15 years experience in probate, and probate is all that I do. And what I mean by that is, I'm not a jack of all trades. I don't handle car accidents one day and then your aunt's estate the next. I've served as the professional executor or trustee for over 100 trusts and estates. I've trained under some of the best probate attorneys in New York, and I've learned all the ins and outs of how to be a legal technician, how to draft petitions, get letters testamentary, do accountings. And that training was important. But I also realized that most clients don't really want petitions or letters or accountings. So you're probably wondering, then what do clients really want? What do you really want? You should ask yourself, what's the result that you want, that you wish you could get to, without ever having to learn about surrogates court or executors? And the answer for most clients is, you want your rightful share of the estate, handled correctly, with no headaches. Does this sound about right to you? Great, then we may be a good fit for each other. Let's move on and take a look at the probate process and how it'll affect you. First, you need to understand that probate is long. It can take up to a year, often even longer, and a lot happens during that time. So let's talk about the 4 main impacts of probate that can really disrupt your life. The first impact is on your time. Running an estate is essentially another part-time job. So can you imagine squeezing another part-time job into your already busy schedule? And under New York law, most probate duties are non-delegable. That means you can't use a power of attorney to ask, say, your unemployed nephew or someone to help you with the more tedious or time-consuming tasks. And this means that you may be the one who's standing online at the courthouse or waiting on hold with the bank. And this is especially a problem if you don't live in New York or if you're out of the US, because a lot of tasks require someone to be physically located here in New York. And who has the time or money to fly back and forth to New York from another state or from another country? The second impact is family conflict. Most folks really value their family relationships, or at the very least, they don't want to make things any worse. This is what I call the probate equation. Family plus money plus death equals drama. It just seems to bring out the Jerry Springer in so many otherwise normal families. And the scariest thing is nobody ever expects it. You may even be thinking, nope, my family gets along just fine. This won't be a problem for us. Please go ahead and skip this part. Well, you say that, but let me tell you about Bonnie and Pam. These sisters were great friends, grew up together, and they even raised their children down the street from each other. Then their aunt died, and Bonnie was somehow deputized by the rest of the family to handle the probate. This aunt was not uber wealthy, and Bonnie and Pam are both upper middle class, so this was not a life-changing inheritance for either of them. But somehow things went sour, and Bonnie and Pam had a falling out, and they haven't spoken ever since. The next impact is unexpected costs. Death is usually unexpected, or at least being thrust into the role of handling an estate is unexpected. Can you imagine having to pay a second set of bills on top of your own bills with no end in sight? Most estates are illiquid, which means you won't have immediate access to the estate cash. So if you can't keep up with the estate bills, how do you decide which ones you have to pay and which ones you can hold off on? And to get the probate case even started, most lawyers require a retainer of several thousands of dollars. Most of us simply don't have that sort of spare cash lying around. The last impact is stress. Probate can be full of incredibly frustrating bureaucracies and delays. It might feel something like the combined headache of changing your name, moving, changing all your bank accounts, and refiling your taxes all at once. Yikes, right? And this is really an all of the above category because everything we've talked about already just adds to this giant ball of stress. So just ask yourself, do you really want to add more stress to your life? You're probably thinking, I don't want to deal with any of that. What happens if I just do nothing? All right, bad idea. Then the government takes over. Why is that a bad idea? I'll just suggest you go over to Google and type in New York Public Administrator Scandals and let the internet answer that one for you. So since you can't just do nothing, let's figure out how to get the kind of help that you want. First, you need to decide what's most important to you. Of all the things we talked about the probate process, think carefully and decide which ones concern you the most. I'm going to pause here so you can take a moment to think about it and maybe even write it down. All done? Hopefully I've helped you get a better understanding of what's most important to you and what problems you want your lawyer to solve for you. So now you know how to ask questions like, how will my attorney help me avoid family conflict? Will my attorney start working with no retainer? How will my attorney protect my time? You probably have more questions such as, how long does it take, or how much will it cost? I'll be happy to try to answer your questions, but first I need to know a little bit more about your situation. You can start by calling us or sending me your contact information using the form below. One of my paralegals will call you so that you can tell us your story. Then I'll be able to send you some more information that matches your situation, including some estimated fee ranges. Lastly, if everything looks like a good fit, we can schedule a one-on-one consultation to get started on your case. I hope you found this helpful. Give us a call or fill out the form below if you'd like to learn more from me. Otherwise, best of luck and take care. Bye now.